Ducati 999S project is back, and we are not going to finish it today, but we're going to make massive progress. One of the things I get asked about probably more than anything else is what happened to the Ducati 999S project. We haven't forgotten it, we haven't left it alone, but in all honesty, it's been a monumental amount of work to keep going, and we've been juggling that amongst all the other filming things we do. Bunch of lame excuses, I know, but I didn't want to just rush this one together and chuck it out the door. We've got a really good update for you coming today. Stay tuned for engine restoration, paint removal, paint putting back on all, new exhausts, new bodywork, fancy bits from hell, and a whole heap of progress that's moving this thing much closer to being back on the track. When we left the 999 last time, we'd just come out of Maidstone Motorliner, who gave us the all clear on the frame. They repaired the wheels, repaired the damage to the steering stop, and everything else was checked, jigged, straight, happy, ready to go. When we got back to the workshop, we weren't as ready to assemble as I'd kind of hoped. The more time we spent with the bike up in the air looking at it, the more we just couldn't ignore the state of that engine. There was bits flaking off of it, it was a bit scabby, and we could have just thrown the bike back together there and then and put the bodywork on, and it would have looked kind of good, especially from a distance, but up close you'd have soon noticed all those flaky bits of paint, and I don't know, this bike didn't feel like a bike I just wanted to lash together and thrash. I wanted to make it a little bit nicer. It's still a special bike. It's a 999S. It's a proper fancy V-twin sports bike from Italy. So I felt it warranted a bit more effort than that. So we pulled the engine out and started our long and arduous procedure of getting all of that old powder coat off. Now at this stage you are kind of presented with two options. You can strip the engine completely, take all the pistons, crankshafts, gearbox, take everything out so you've just got the cases, send them away, get them professionally blasted, then either repowder coated or cerakoted, which is a much more modern and effective way of protecting your engine cases. That is the absolute A-grade way of doing this. It's a huge amount of work, a huge amount of expense on a bike that ultimately is probably only worth about £5 when we're done. And on top of all that, the engine worked. The engine ran and was beautiful last time we had it running. So it felt like a bit too much to go stripping that engine to pieces and disturbing all that and then having to do a full rebuild. So we took a bit of a halfway house. I used a soda blaster with soda rather than grit. The thought there being that if grit goes in the engine, it's really bad. If soda goes in there, it dissolves, maybe contaminates the oil a bit, but it's not going to destroy the engine. So I went for the soda blast approach, and that and a lot of time spent with a scraper, we finally managed to get the engine stripped back to a decent surface. Now I wasn't on my own on this. I had my other mechanic mate, Evan, working with me on it. Not quite sure what's going on here. I really hope Evan is warming up cans of paint in his pocket. So we put a lot of hours of grafting in, got it back to a decent condition, then put on a good etch primer and a colour matched top coat with some lacquer from one of our local paint shops. Went through and kind of took our time, painted all the engine, got it back together. Now, if you put the engine on a stand in front of you and look at it really carefully, 100% you'll find some blemishes. They're in there. I left them as a little treat for you. But that was the point. If you wanted to do it A-grade, you have to do the full strip and cerakote. We went for this middle approach, which still took a heap of time, but again, saved cost and time compared to the full engine rebuild approach. And once it's back in the bike, it looks great. And once there's fairing panels on it and it's a full motorcycle, I'm pretty confident that you're not going to walk up to it and go, ew, that engine paint's got a small mark right down there by the swinging arm. So with the engine back together, we got it back in the bike. The thing that's blown my mind most is how heavy this engine is. The first time I moved it, I lifted it on my own. I thought I was going to die. Maybe slight exaggeration, but I genuinely had a really bad back for a few weeks after. Two people lifting it, it's still heavy. This is an absolute monster motor and was built to have the architecture that Ducati could make more and more power out of it, out of a big V-twin. But the penalty for that is a heavy, heavy engine. With it back in the chassis, the next job is reassembly. There is a lot to do. I never actually got around to cleaning the pile of parts on the shelf, so I'm sort of cleaning things up as I go, ordering a few extra bits, ordering a few new bits, and sort of sprinkling a few goodies in along the way. A lot of the parts we actually hunted through eBay using their Assured Fit program, which basically if you buy a part that's got the Assured Fit thing for your bike in this case, and it doesn't fit, you're guaranteed it will fit, and if it doesn't fit, you get to send it back and get your money back. So it just gives a bit of peace of mind when you're buying tons and tons of bits for a project like this. The few little tricky bits were definitely the mirrors. Took us a long time to find a pair of mirrors in the right colour, and the subframe was again a bit of a pickle. A few popped up, really expensive, and a few popped up but weren't the S model ones. Eventually we found an aftermarket one from Italy, I think. So yeah, it's been a bit of a good dig and challenge getting all the parts for it, which is, yeah, one of the fun bits of this project. gets frustrating when you can't find them, but when you eventually get that win, it's nice to get it and move on to the next stuff. Since we started it as well, we've had a big pile of Hell goodies come for it, which I'm really excited. So Hell brake lines have been a long time supporter of myself racing, and did you know I used to race? Bike world, and it's really good to have them on board with this project. We've got some snazzy Hell brake calipers, master cylinders, obviously brake lines. I'm really looking forward to giving that bike that little extra posh bit to avoid rebuilding the standard calipers, so it's going to save me a bunch of time as well. Call me lazy, but hey, there's a good opportunity to put some snazzy stuff on there, so I'm definitely going to jump in with that. Few more jobs involve exhaust. That's the big next job. Is the exhaust was all bent and mangled when we took it off the bike. I'm hoping we can rescue it, because Terminioni exhausts are not cheap, so hopefully we can rescue that. One of the jobs with any bike of unknown age and not sure what servicing it's had is a decent battery, especially if it's a big old school Ducati V-twin. They take a lot of cranking over, so I've gone for a good quality Yuasa battery. They are a sponsor of the show. Lots and lots of cranking power. AGM as well, especially with the Ducati, because it's on its side, so you can't have an old school battery with a wet pipe because it would pour acid everywhere. Good quality battery needed for this because she a big old motor. Now, at this stage in the project, the last thing I need to be doing is fitting the rear set. So I'm a long way off needing controls, but I remember this from when I did the KTM 950 rally bike. When you've got a bike entirely in pieces and you've spent hours and hours cleaning and scrubbing and polishing and painting, it does get a little bit depressing and you need a little pick-me-up. So today I'm going to have a little pick-me-up in the form of shiny rear sets. I've made sure that all the bolts are Loctited, strip them down, put them all back together. And yeah, I'm going to get the rear sets on it because it's going to make it look more like a bike, and I need a win. I need a little easy job that's going to make me happy and make the bike look more complete, because otherwise I will go and sob into my cup of tea for the next hour every time I find a rusty bolt. So yeah, snazzy rear sets going on, massive improvement to what the bike looks like, and I can pretend that one day I'll get to ride it. With too much choice, look at that. I'm going to go for a kind of middly position. I don't like to start with my rear sets at the highest point because then they're just unnecessarily uncomfortable. I kind of tend to start with them low and move them up as my feet start dragging, which is not a bad strategy. Strange Ducati strangeness, but yeah. Rear brake master cylinder mounted to the engine. It's actually really neat, the routing. Carried under here into the bottom of the bike. But yeah, weird and different. Now, the big important job for today, to sort of finish us off, is to suss the exhaust. This bike had a full Terminioni system on it. Just snazzy, and I will give a good polish up before I use it. But in the crash, all the subframe was bent and the exhaust got bent too. A replacement Terminioni system is unbelievably expensive. Okay, not to people who own Porsches and Audi RS4s, but to people who fix motorbikes, really pricey. So I'm going to see how much of this exhaust I can salvage. I've got a straight subframe on now, so all I need to do is remember where all the old bits of pipe went, easier said than done, and refit the silencer, and hopefully probably take the pants out of the exhaust as well. Hopefully we'll be in a position where stuff actually fits. Him on there, him on there, him on there, him on there. Imagine if I just fitted those rear sets and they were now massively in the way. That would be embarrassing. Told you not to fit the shiny stuff straight away. Wait till it's actually needed. Foolish boy, Christopher. Foolish boy. Okie dokie. So, the answer is the exhaust can be made to fit. We'll just need to straighten that back box out, which is probably quite doable. If I just drill the rivets out, that's quite exciting. I know a man who does titanium things, and I know a man who does stainless things, and I know a man who does all sorts of fancy exhausts. So I think get that over to Jeff at Cobuilt, get him to repair that, and the rest of the system will go. Which is a big win. So I'm going to get back to my busy schedule of digging things out of boxes that I've forgotten what they do and putting them on the bike. We're going to wrap it up there. This is properly exciting stage for the 999. It is going back together. It's going back together nicely. I've spotted a couple of things I want to replace. I've got a full bolt kit for the engine because I painted over all the bolts. Cam belt service to do. I have all the kit over there, but we didn't want to do it before the engine was sort of nearing completion. So few little jobs, do the service, whack all the body panels on, and it will be good to go. There is light at the end of the tunnel.